Good evening. I'm Keisha Butts with a CTV News update. 3 homicides in less than 24 hours in Landover, Glenarden, and Suitland. The latest was around 10 this morning in the 2300 block of Pembroke Circle, just minutes from the District 3 police station. 3 people were reportedly shot. 1 victim died at the scene.
Once on scene, they located an adult male in a roadway suffering from gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead on scene. Currently, our homicide detectives are out on the scene attempting to identify a suspect and a motive in this case and speak to any of the neighbors or witnesses who may have seen something. Anyone with any information can give us a call at Crime Solvers. That number is 1-866-411-TIPS.
Again, that number for Crime Solvers is 1-866-411-TIPS. Meantime, police are investigating a fatal shooting that left 1 man dead in Glenarden last night. The victim has been identified as 31-year-old Anthony Frost of the district. Investigators were called to the 7900 block of Glenarden Parkway around 9:30. They found Frost suffering from gunshot wounds outside of a home. Anyone with information on this case is asked to contact authorities. The third fatal shooting claimed the life of a woman in Suitland. It happened around 7:30 last night on the 2300 block of Whitehall Street. The victim was found lying outside and was pronounced dead at the scene. Her identity has not been released. With some county kids heading back to in-person classes next week, they can expect some major changes on school buses. PGCPS says it's following CDC guidelines, so everyone will be required to wear masks. Staff will sanitize buses in the mornings, afternoons, and in between each run. Seating will also be limited to 1 student per seat.
Students will each have 1 seat. They can't share the seat unless they happen to be from, family members from the same household. And they'll sit staggered in those seats so that nobody's directly behind each other. They'll use between the window and the aisle to keep as far apart as possible.
Saunders also says the school system is increasing the number of cameras on buses to monitor safety protocols. Prince George's moves to Phase 2B of the state's vaccination plan today. Under the Phase 2B plan, residents that live or work in the county and are eligible to get the vaccine can now pre-register through the Prince George's County Health Department. Eligible individuals include residents 16 years and older with medical conditions like cancer, kidney, or lung disease, and dementia. For more information, visit mypgc.us/COVID vaccine. Here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. 903 Marylanders have tested positive for the disease over the past 24 hours. 13 people have died. The state's positivity rate is at 5.24%. Since the pandemic began, nearly 78,000 Marylanders have tested positive for the coronavirus. You're watching CTV News. I'm Keisha Butts. We'll be back in 1 moment.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov. That's princegeorgescountymd.gov. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, I want him. He's got to come home with me. Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
Welcome back. The nation's first federally funded and operated mobile COVID-19 vaccination units will launch on Maryland's Eastern Shore. According to FEMA, they will provide access for residents who live in remote areas in 8 counties. State officials say the focus will be on workers in manufacturing and food processing plants, as well as minority and migrant communities. Each mobile unit will provide at least 250 doses a day. A Senate nominations panel recommends Dennis Schrader be confirmed as Maryland's health chief. The acting health secretary sailed through his confirmation hearing yesterday in a nearly unanimous vote. The long dissenting vote came from Senator Clarence Lamb, a physician who has been highly critical of Schrader. Lawmakers had said that his confirmation would depend on how he handled the state's vaccination rollout program. His nomination now goes to the full Senate, where he is likely to be confirmed. Bowie Mayor Tim Adams is running for Maryland Comptroller in 2022. Adams made the announcement in a YouTube video released today. One of his priorities includes strengthening the state employee pension system. Adams, who has been the mayor of Bowie since 2019, is also the founder of SATEC. He says his executive leadership experience will help him as comptroller.
What I bring is a very, very unique skill set, and that is when it comes to procurement. You know, the comptroller is one of the 3 seats on the Board of Public Works, and they approve the contracts for like $200,000 above and all, for all of the contracts in the state, as well as bond those. And I believe it's important that somebody have true experience, as I have over many years, of how to look at those contracts.
Adams is joining the race with Delegate Brooke Learman. The state could transition to electric school buses under a proposed bill before the Maryland General Assembly. To help transition from diesel-powered school buses to an electric fleet, HB 832 would establish a pilot program. Delegate David Frazier Hidalgo is sponsoring the measure, which he says has far-reaching benefits.
Our most vulnerable population are our kindergartners and our elementary school kids, and the tailpipe of a regular school bus, a diesel school bus, is right at the height of their mouth and their lungs, and not to mention all the teachers and everybody that's getting kids off and on the buses every day. So this program will help to transition hundreds of buses over time to electric, which is good for the kids. It's good for emergency rooms, not seeing as many kids with asthma and asthma-specific bronchial issues. It's good for the environment because it reduces greenhouse gas emissions. And actually, because the utilities are involved, they're going to use the big batteries on those school buses to backfill the grid. On those hot summer days when everybody comes home and turns on their air conditioning, that's when the coal-fired power plants really start to fire up, and they pollute a lot. And if we can get dozens or hundreds of buses with their big battery packs that aren't being used at that particular time, because at that particular time they're parked, and all that electricity will then can backfill the grid and help us not burn fossil fuels.
The measure recently passed the House chamber. It's currently before the Maryland Senate. A push to make recreational cannabis legal in Maryland is defeated this year. 2 bills in the General Assembly failed to progress past a hearing in either chamber. The adult use bills, which included a focus on social equity and industry diversity, got stuck in committee. Governor Hogan also voiced his opposition to commercializing marijuana. Meantime, the state's medical marijuana market is increasing, with sales approaching $500 million annually. And we'll have more news after the break. Stay tuned.
I am what child hunger looks like in America. I am a 9-year-old boy who hopes a friend invites me to a sleepover so I can have dinner. I am a 15-year-old girl who goes for walks during lunch, so my friends won't know I don't have anything to eat. I am a 13-year-old boy who gets into fights at school just because I'm hungry. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 7 American children who struggle with hunger. Kids you pass by every day but never knew they were hungry.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
I moved to Florida with literally pennies in my pocket and a prayer. I needed a new start. Dacian looks like a very typical 3-year-old until you ask him, "What's your name? How old are you?" My son has a lot of behaviors that would show as being autistic. Most kids can tolerate a variety of foods, but unfortunately for Dacian, everything has to be organic and raw. I wasn't ashamed to go to the food pantries. It's expensive to eat healthy, and nutrition is very important to Dacian's health. The healthy organic food that we receive dramatically helped his social skills. Most people would say, she really doesn't have much of a life, but to me, I have everything right there next to me in my son.
Welcome back. President Joe Biden announces the nomination of 2 Maryland women to become federal judges. The president tapped Magistrate Judge Deborah Boardman and Lydia Grigsby to become U.S. District Court judges. Grigsby, who has served on the Court of Federal Claims, would be the first Black woman to serve as a federal judge in Maryland. The two were among 10 individuals Biden announced to fill vacancies on the circuit and district courts. State police and the Maryland Department of Labor are teaming up to warn residents about a rise in unemployment insurance fraud cases. Investigators say in recent months they have learned of a number of schemes targeting individuals, the elderly, charities, and other organizations. Officials say beware of web pages and scammers on social media pretending to be the Maryland Department of Labor. Some of the scams involve getting the victims to buy a gift card and then convincing them to provide the PIN number. If you've been a victim of unemployment fraud, go to mdunemployment.com. Maryland's pro-Confederate state song is on its way to the dustbin of history. State lawmakers gave final passage yesterday of a bill to repeal Maryland, My Maryland. The move follows decades of debate on the song that many say is offensive. The vote was 95-38 in the House. It passed unanimously in the Senate. Written in 1861, the song calls on Maryland to join the Confederacy in its fight against the Northern scum. The song also refers to Abe Lincoln as a despot. Governor Hogan is expected to sign the bill. Maryland is poised to become the 5th state in the nation to ban new cosmetic testing on animals. Animal rights advocates are elated about the passage of the legislation in both chambers. They say it's simply not needed to ensure the safety of cosmetics for human use. The 2 bills now head to the governor's desk. Similar federal legislation is expected to be reintroduced in the current Congress. And now for your weather forecast. Tonight, cloudy with lows in the 50s. Tomorrow, rain with highs in the 60s. Thursday, rain likely, highs in the upper 40s. Friday, partly cloudy skies, highs around 46, and lows falling to the upper 20s. And that wraps our CTV News update. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. I'm Keisha Butts. Have a good night.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.